Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the best way to find bigger clients. So I'm not an expert in this. Finding bigger clients everybody has their own way of doing it, and some ways work great for some people and they work horribly for others. So my goal would be to share something that's worked for me and for Brent Creative. And it's a really simple concept. It's just going out to lunch. To really understand this, let's take a look at the customer buying cycle for an agency or a freelancer. Your customers go through the same cycle that any other consumers do, all the way from awareness to realization of need. You know what? For those of you not familiar with the customer cycle that I'm talking about, some people call it a customer journey. It's basically the journey a person or a user takes before they become a customer, before they make that purchase. I like to break it down into 5 phases. 1, awareness. This is where the user going from not knowing you exist to actually knowing you exist. Second thing, realizing need. So this is where the consumer now knows you exist and they've realized that, hey, we need their services, or we need the product that they're offering. Third is shopping. Shopping and comparing phase is really tricky, especially for agencies and freelancers, because they're comparing you to other agencies, other service providers, and they're trying to figure out what's going to be the best fit. Then we've got the engage and delight phase. Now typically, if you're in business, you're really good at this phase. This is where the customers agree to the proposal, you're in the design, and you're engaging in business with them. And the last is sharing and returning. This is where your referrals come in because they've shared, and they're giving you return business and all that kind of stuff. So the biggest thing that we struggle with as freelancers and designers is that awareness phase. The goal should be to get as many people to remember that you exist, or to know that you exist, as possible. That's why things like social media are important. Living on Behance and Dribble, writing press releases, getting good with the publications, writing blog articles. All this kind of stuff is going to increase your awareness. So a way that you can increase awareness is cold calling or cold emailing. But I think that is a God-given gift that some people have. Now, you can get really good at it, but it takes a lot of practice. And some people, it just doesn't take them a lot of practice. They just get good. And I think that the reason that it's so difficult is because with a cold call, you're basically calling and asking for business. It's like going up to a woman in the bar and saying, "Hey, will you marry me?" It's just like, it's completely cold. And so inviting somebody out to lunch is really not such a cold ask, and that's what we're going to talk about here. Compared to networking events, this is a much softer sell. So networking events are good, and I've been to a lot of them, but there's such pressure on everybody to be almost like a shark. We're having to go and shake hands with as many people as possible and collect as many business cards as possible. It feels impersonal, and I've never had success with this kind of stuff. So the best thing that you can do is walk into lunch without any expectations. Just sit down across from another human being and share a meal. If you're constantly trying to sell them throughout the whole lunch, it's going to make a negative experience for both of them, and for both of you, and that's not what we're going for. You're basically just saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm interested, and great to meet you." You have to have a good personality so that when the person's sitting across from you, he's not like, he or she is not like kind of weirded out by you're you. I don't know. There's not a nice way to say that, but you gotta be nice, and you gotta be empathetic, and you have to be, you don't have to be an extrovert, but you have to have enough confidence to have a conversation. Okay, the last tip, and this is a big one. This is so big, I'm gonna write it down. I hope you guys can read that. Match and mirror. So matching and mirroring is basically looking at the person, it's basically trying to match yourself, or it's basically you're mirroring the other person. It's really, maybe I need to look this up. It's wildly documented online. I'll probably write a blog post about it in the future. But basically you want to match their tone of voice, their posture.
I'll be the number 2 guy here in Scranton in 6 weeks. How? Name repetition, personality mirroring, and never breaking off a handshake.
The most important thing you can do as a freelancer, especially when you take a marketing executive out for lunch, is not show up in shorts and a t-shirt. Not because shorts and a t-shirt, there's anything wrong with shorts and a t-shirt. But if this guy's in button-up shirt with a tie, you're going to want to match and mirror the way he dresses. Sit down and say, okay, so this is a professional person I'm dealing with. That's very important. Doesn't matter how young you are, how many years you've been in, if you match and mirror this person. Now, on the other hand, if this guy's an artist and he shows up in flip-flops, showing up in a suit and a tie is going to be overkill, number one, and it's not going to send the right message. My successes with going out to lunch have been incredible. And probably the largest success that I've had was a $30,000 brand identity project that was gained from simply taking 2 people out to lunch. Now, am I saying that taking people out to lunch is going to immediately bring in work for you? No. But if you're able to create awareness, meaning saying, hey, I exist, I'm interested, I'm open, with the right person at the right time, when they have a need, that's a match made in heaven. You'll shoot right through. So the rest of the day, I've got some design work to do today, which is awesome because yesterday was completely filled with meetings and client work and stuff like that. And then tonight we've got the executive board meeting for AIGA. So let's make it happen. Okay, right now I'm heading to our executive board meeting for AIGA. So I'm not going to bring the camera into the board meeting with me. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. It's going to be the link right after this one. Check out the last video that I put out. It's a tour of Hue and Cry, which is a motion design studio.